Okay, so we are reviewing for our quiz today, and it's all on quadrilaterals and parallelograms. The first thing that we had gone over was identifying a shape. So I'm going to give you all the options. Okay, there's John. I just update that he's here. All right, John, I got you in all set. Okay. Square, rectangle, rhombus, square, trapezoid, isosceles trapezoid, or kite. Okay, so these are all of your options for the different types of quadrilaterals that we learned. So based off of the markings that I make, tell me what I have. Get your class's popsicle sticks though, because last blocks isn't going to help me. You guys? Nope. Okay, got it. All right, so what if I just give you this shape? Just that, no markings. What's the best name that you can give me for this, Olivia? Yeah, quadrilateral. Right? If they're, oh, Demetrius is here now. Let me let him in. Okay, there we go. Demetrius, we are just reviewing for our quiz. And Olivia just told us that this thing with no markings as it is a quadrilateral. That's the best name that you have for this, okay? Now, when I add these markings, you can now call this thing something else.
Parallelogram.
Well, you gotta wait for me to call you. I didn't hear your answer though. So, Kaya, what do you call this thing that has the two pairs of parallel sides? What shape has two pairs of parallel sides? Yes. Maybe it'll help if I finish writing out what these words are.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, parallelogram is the one that has two pairs of parallel sides. Yes. Okay, what is this thing? Who has this? Ah! All four sides the same. Nick, who's that? If you have all four sides the same, that's someone. More specific than a quadrilateral. I knew I drew this one funky. It's supposed to be in the middle. Molly? Olivia? That's the rhombus. Yeah. Yeah, rhombus is the one that has all four sides the same. Rhombus. Yes, rhombus. Now, I'm gonna try and trick you on the next one. Don't get stumped. Actually, I'm gonna be fancy. Oh wait, I'm gonna be fancier. That thing, as it is. Hannah, what would you call this thing? No marks. What is that? Hannah, you're still there, right? Okay. You got a guess for this? What would you call this shape if it has no marks on it at all? So if it's gonna be a parallelogram, it's gotta be marked as a parallelogram. So you would have to have, oh geez. You'd have to see these, the arrows on the sides, okay? That's a parallelogram. If you don't have those, yeah, quadrilateral, that's the best name that I can give it. Guys, I know this looks like a square, right? I know it looks like one, but you don't know for a fact if it's a square, if there's no markings on it at all. You can't go off of what it looks like. You gotta go off of how it's marked, right? I don't know that those are right angles. It could be an 89-degree angle. Your eye can't tell the difference between an 89-degree angle and a 90-degree angle. They're too close. It looks the same. So this, maybe it's a square, maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know until I have some markings. What do these markings tell me? What shape is this, Matt?
A square.
You're close, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you because a square, I'd have to know that all four sides are the same too. And all I know is that I have 4 right angles. Who's got 4 right angles?
Trapezoid.
No, you're going the wrong way. You were closer before. That's our friend, the rectangle. Rectangles are the ones that have all 4 angles as 90s. It's not a square, ladies and gentlemen, until you have this. You need both 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. Now it's a square. If you don't have those side marks, now you don't know if those sides are equal to each other. You have no idea. The only thing you know is that I have 4 right angles. That's a rectangle. If I went the other way, what if I had those marks and not those marks? So now I know that the sides are the same, but I don't know that they're right angles. What is this shape? Riley.
It's a quadrilateral.
You can be more specific than that. Who has 4 congruent sides?
A rhombus.
Yes, rhombus. Guys, I'm going to beg you to have your notes out when you do this. I don't want you getting these wrong. These naming the shapes. That's not the hard part of the quiz. No. So just have your notes out in front of you. But I mean, if you hopefully you took good notes. My notes are there too. If you didn't, but any hoosers, let's. We should talk about trapezoids though. Oh my gosh. So let's take a look-see with those. What makes a trapezoid a trapezoid? What do you have to have? Besides 4 sides.
You have to have 2 sides equal to each other. So 2 parallel sides.
Yeah, I have 1 pair of parallel sides. That's a trapezoid. You guys see that? That is a trapezoid. What happens when I make these marks? Now what do I have?
A rhombus.
Oh.
No, oh wait. No.
Yes, that's the isosceles trapezoid. I also think there's some confusion between the markings. Remember that these arrows right here, that does not mean that they're the same length. That means parallel, right? And look at it. Look at the top and look at the bottom. They're not the same length. The top is short and the bottom is long. So that's not the same size. That just means parallel. So you could literally have 2 lines that are parallel to each other. One's like this and one's like this, right? They're parallel, but they're not equal. So that's what the arrows mean. And then these slashes here, that means that it's the same exact length. So if I pulled out a ruler and I literally measured the length, it'd be 5 inches and 5 inches or whatever. That's what that means, okay? And last shape that we need to talk about is our friend the kite. How do you make a kite? What does it have to have? What are the markings I'm looking for? Because right now it's just a quadrilateral. What markings do I have to make a kite? Olivia? Yes, you have to have one pair of congruent sides and then a second pair of congruent sides. But you can't have all 4 of them being the same, because once all 4 are the same, then it's a rhombus. Okay. All right. The other thing that we talked about, this was probably the easiest part, is that if you have any quadrilateral, what do all the angles add up to? 360. If you know that, you'll be able to do that whole batch of questions. So real quick, if I told you that was 50, that's 150, and this is 80, what is this thing? Everybody got it? What'd you say?
Can I say it?
Yeah.
60.
Ooh, I don't think it's quite 60. 80, yeah. If you add all the way around, 50 and 150 is 200, 280. Take 280 away from 360, and it leaves you with 80, right? Yeah. So we're gonna have 80 degrees for that one. Okay, just remember all 4 angles always add up to be 360. Then we focus more specifically on just the parallelogram. So find for me these values. Please find for me the values of A, B, C, X, and Y. You can find them in any order you want. I'm going to call on someone and you get to pick your letter and tell me what it is. Molly B, pick a letter and tell me what it is. Yes, X would be 10. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are just equal to each other. We love that. Super easy. All right. Mary, pick another letter and tell me what it would be. Yes, Y would just be 20 for the same reason. Love that. Okay. Ooh, now we get to the angles. Molly S, A, B, or C, and tell me what its measure would be. Yeah, B is 50. We learned that opposite angles in a parallelogram are always equal to each other. That's nice. Okay. And then this, let's see, John. Choose either angle A or C and tell me what its measure would be. Want a hint?
Yeah.
There's something going on with these 2 angles. Those 2 angles have to do what? They have to add up to something. Do you remember what it is?
No.
Any 2 angles in a row have to add up to be 180 in a parallelogram. So now knowing that, if they have to add to be 180, what's angle A gotta be?
Um, 130.
Yes, that's it, 130. Okay, and then the last angle goes to Sophia. What's angle C gotta be?
130.
130 for multiple reasons, right? across the way, they're always the same. If that one's 130, then that one's 130. Or you could again do any two in a row have to be supplementary, add to 180. Okay, cool. Real quick, let's talk about the diagonals. Can you find me X, Y, and Z? I'm gonna call on people at random. Pick your letter and tell me what it is. Demetrius, pick a letter and tell me what it is. Demetrius, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, good. All right. Pick a letter. Tell me what its value is.
Is X8?
Is X8? No, X isn't. But I'll tell you who is. Well, I'll tell you. So here's the thing with the diagonals in a parallelogram. They cut each other in half. So if that one piece is 5 that I just underlined, what does X have to be? Those little pieces, guys, are always going to be equal to each other. So what happens in a parallelogram? Did I say rhombus before? I feel like I did. These pieces are always the same, and then these pieces are always the same. Always. Every parallelogram does that. So that means X has got to be, isn't it just 5? Right? Because these two have to match, 5 and 5. All right, now for Y and Z, Catherine, can you tell me what either one is? Yeah, they're each going to be 4. If the whole thing is 8, that means this one's 4 and so is this one. Okay, so X was 5, Y and Z are 4 and 4. The only way this got harder was by throwing in algebra, but you guys are pros now. Pros. Steve, what would my equation be to solve this?
2x plus 5 equals 10.
Yes, opposite sides are equal, so I literally just set them equal. Okay, what would the equation be this time? What if I had a 2x here and a 3x minus 4? What would my equation be? I'm not going to take the time to solve it. I just want the equation. Olivia? Yes, again, these two are equal to each other if they're angles that are across from each other. What do you get when you have this? Oops. Now what? Veteran? Yes, this is the time when you have two angles in a row, that's when you add them together and set it equal to 180. Okay, when does it get trickier than this? With the diagonals. So real quick, if you have the diagonals, I tell you this is 2x, I tell you this is 3x minus 5, who cares? If they give you the two little pieces, you just set them equal to each other. Because that's the deal with this. This piece is always equal to this piece. So that's an easy equation, 2x equals 3x minus 5. When does it get weird? When they don't give you both little pieces and they do this. They're going to do something along the lines of this. Well, they'll say, okay, that's 2x, but now this whole thing is something like, I don't know, 7x minus 3. Can someone tell me how in the world you solved this? Go ahead, Olivia.
You would do 2x plus 2x, 7x minus 3.
Exactly. These two pieces right here, that piece and this piece are equal. So if that one's 2x, this one's automatically 2x. If there's nothing written there, you write it there. Now I can see, oh, okay, so the two of them together, 2x and another 2x is going to equal the whole thing, 7x minus 3. And then you just solve your equation. Okay, that's as tricky as it's gonna get. I talked way too much. I'm gonna shut up so you can now take your quiz. Any questions? All right, go for it, guys. I'm gonna stop the recording here.